So it's been a while since the Galaxy Tab S7 FE came out. It's going to be about 3 years this coming May, but we've had several new tablets come out since then, so I feel like it changes things a bit on whether this is still worth it in 2024. Back when the S7 FE came out, it started at $529, but of course you can find it much lower now, even as low as $300 in some cases, so really good value for such a large tablet. But I feel like there may be some reasons to pause on such a good deal, which we'll cover here shortly. One downside of the S7 FE is the screen is only 60 Hz instead of 120 like you get with the Tab S8 or S9 series. You're also not going to get a fingerprint scanner like you get on the newer Tab S9 FE Plus. As far as storage options go, you've got 64 GB with 4 GB of RAM. There's also 128 with 6 GB of RAM and 256 GB of storage with 8 GB of RAM. You can also use a micro SD card for expanded storage. There's also a 5G version as well. So again, a lot of different options when it comes to this tablet. The overall design and style of this tablet is going to be pretty similar to the new Tab S9 FE Plus. You can even share the same keyboard cases with this tablet and the S7 Plus and S8 Plus as well. So it's pretty easy to find a keyboard case for this. As far as the screen goes, it's got a 12.4-inch LCD display with 2560 by 1600 resolution. It's not going to be super AMOLED like some of the other large Galaxy Tabs, but it still looks pretty good in person in my opinion. It's going to be good for watching videos, playing games, reading, just about anything you do on a larger tablet like this. It's always a little easier on the eyes. This one also might be better for drawing or taking notes since you're going to have more space versus something like the Galaxy Tab S6 Lite. As far as the battery goes, it's got a 10,090 milliamp hour battery. It lasted about 6 hours in my battery drain test, so pretty average when compared to other tablets I've tested. And surprisingly, it's better than the newer Tab P12 from Lenovo. It should have plenty of juice to last a day or two of mixed usage, even longer if you turn the screen brightness down. Nice thing is you get up to 45 watt fast charging, which is always nice to have on a larger tablet like this. One thing to keep in mind, the 5G version is not quite as powerful as the Wi-Fi model, but it's still good enough for most stuff that I would need to do. The performance on here is very similar to the Tab S6 Lite, maybe a little bit better. You get a Snapdragon 750G for the 5G version versus Snapdragon 778 on the Wi-Fi version. Regardless of which version you go with, it's not going to be quite as powerful as the new Tab S9 FE Plus. As you can see here by the Geekbench scores, you may also notice that things are going to load a little faster and be a little snappier and do some multitasking a little bit faster on the S9 FE Plus, but the Tab S7 FE is still going to be one of the better budget tablets in my opinion, even in 2024. As far as gaming goes, PUBG Mobile and Asphalt 9 plays fairly smooth on here. One thing to keep in mind is because this is a larger tablet, it's a little bit harder to reach certain areas while using the touchscreen versus something smaller like the regular Tab S9 FE. But if you're going to connect a controller, it's really nice to play games on a larger screen like this. Software-wise, the S7 FE is on Android 13, One UI 5.1.1, and you're going to get a pretty similar experience on here versus other Samsung tablets. You've got the taskbar down there at the bottom, which does come in handy to switch back and forth between apps. You also have the option to turn that off in the settings if you need to. You've also got the option of Google Discover or Samsung Free left of the home screen. Nice thing is this also has Samsung DeX, which is going to make it feel a little more like a regular PC, and it just makes it easier to do some multitasking. Plus, this one has video out. You can use an external monitor or TV, and that's something you don't get on the Tab S6 Lite or even the new S9 FE series. I believe you get 4 years software updates, 5 years security updates with this tablet, so something to keep in mind considering this came out in 2021, and that might be one reason why some people would rather have the S9 FE series since it's going to get longer software support. And then of course, one of the best features of this tablet is you get the S Pen included, which is going to be good for drawing, taking notes, or just moving around the software. Definitely one of the better options in my opinion if you're going to be doing a lot of drawing or taking notes. And because of the larger screen, you're going to have more space than on some of the smaller S6 Lite or S9 FE tablets. As far as speakers go, you've got one on each side with Dolby Atmos, and while the speakers aren't going to be as loud as the Tab S9 series, I feel like it still sounds decent in my opinion, probably comparable to the S9 FE Plus. Unfortunately, you don't get a headphone jack on this one. Not a huge deal for most people in 2024, but here's a quick sample just to give you an idea of what it sounds like. The cameras on here are actually pretty decent for a tablet. Not going to be the best out there. You get an 8 megapixel on the back, 5 megapixel on the front. You've also got their auto framing feature, so it should be a good tablet for Zoom meetings or other video conference calls. Here's a few samples of photo and video just to give you an idea of what to expect. So there are some things to consider about the Tab S7 FE and whether it's still worth it in 2024. I feel like it's still got some life left on it as far as software updates, but now that we have the S9 FE series, it would be tough for me to choose this over one of those, but it might just depend on what types of stuff you need to do on your tablet. This one could still be a good option for some people. One thing to keep in mind, if you need to do video editing or more intense stuff, I would probably look at the Tab S8 series to get something that's a little more powerful. I know I've got a lot more tablet videos that I'm working on, so you'll want to keep an eye out for those upcoming videos. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.